Hi, students, and welcome back to week 9. Yay! Okay, so now we are on the downhill slide. We have finished more than half of the class. So we have this week, which is the end of October, beginning of November. Then we just have to get to the middle of December. Hang in there. Stay with me. We're going to be fine. We're all in this together. So, woohoo! All right. So, a lot going on at the end of October here. Let's go in. So, Bill Gates has a birthday. Come on. There we go. So Bill Gates was born on October 28th in 1955. And this gentleman here, Ted Huff, was born in 1937, and he was a co-inventor of the microprocessor, which is needed. He went to work at Intel, and so he was that's a very important thing that you need in your computer. Never do math in my head. Okay, 141 years ago, this gentleman named Wilgod Odner was granted a patent for a calculating machine that performed multiplications by repeated additions. So the patent, which was a modified and compact version of Gottfried von Leibniz's stepped wheel, was acquired and embodies in Brunswiga calculators that were sold into the 1950s. And Gottfried von Leibniz was working about 50 years before this on a calculator. So if you were in my face-to-face class, I would tell you more about that, but I can't. So you can look these gentlemen up and find out about that, but that's 141 years ago. And then I think I have one more for you. Oh, no, two. This one. So on October 31st in 1945, the first conference on digital computer technique was held at MIT. And so these are the gentlemen who they're called the Whirlwind team. And so this influenced the direction of this calculating machines on these computers. So that's pretty cool. So that's 1945. I'm not going to do the math on that. But this other one that is really cool. So if you remember back to Word Chapter 2, it seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it? Word Chapter 2, you had to do the library assignment, which had you had to go look for things, and so we were talking about research. And so, what if you need to sort and look? Or we talked about it when we did the Access project too, the Access assignment, where you're looking for things. So the school schedule. I need a certain type of class. I need a BCIS1110 on Monday and Wednesday. So not Tuesday and Thursday or Friday and Saturday. So, and I don't remember that far back if I talked about it. So this and, or, if not, that kind of thing is called Boolean logic. And that's named after this gentleman whose name is George Boole. So he has this method of formal logic, defining statements as true or false. So Monday and Wednesday, true, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, false. Okay. That kind of thing. So he's the man who invented this, and his logic has been used extensively in computer programming and hardware design since the late 1940s, but he was born 204 years ago. So that's a pretty amazing thing. All right, so I'm good with that. Okay, so now what's going on this week? So this is where you found this week's video lecture that I'm doing right now. So now we're going to move on to Excel. Yay! All right, so Excel is really cool. Here's the problem. Some students, and I remember back from when you did that assignment in week 1, which names escapes me right now. What class are you looking forward to? What class are you dreading? Sometimes in your attendance journal, you said, I'm really looking forward to doing Excel, or I'm not so excited about Excel. So some people are apprehensive about Excel because it involves numbers, and they think they have to do a bunch of math calculations, and that could not be farther from the truth, because the program does it for you. And so we're going to learn how to do this. So when I have the opportunity, when I'm setting up the class, I try to rearrange things so that Excel, I don't have any other things going on. It's all you have to do. All right. So this is the only thing you have to do, this and the attendance journal this week. So I want to get you into Excel. And I want you to embrace it because it will actually do more of the work for you. Students get better grades in Excel than they do in Word and PowerPoint. Why? Because it has to be right, and we give you the answers. So once you put in a formula, you copy it down or across, and it does it for you. And then all you have to do is check it against the one we give you. So please embrace it as something positive and something that is really going to help you. I use Excel more than I use any other program. And it serves a lot of different purposes. It's very, very flexible. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to spend a little bit of time. Oh, I think I left all my. All right, I'll just use this. So this was one that I did a previous video. Okay, so let me undo a couple of things here. All right, so I'll just take some things out of here, and then we'll come back and show you. All right, so this is what Excel looks like. All right, let me get this out of the way. This is what Excel looks like, and it's made up. It comes this way, only it's all straight. I had already done a video and I deleted it. So it's made up of these columns, which are indicated by capital letters, and rows, which are indicated by numbers. Okay, the intersection of the columns and the rows is called a cell, and then the indication of what that cell is its cell address. So the columns are indicated by capital letters, the rows are by numbers, and you put the column first. So this cell is D48. This one is A49. This one is B46. This one is A56. So those are the addresses, and you always put the letter first and then the number. Okay. So, excuse me. I always get coffee when I do. Okay. So the ribbon is very similar to Word in a lot of different ways. So, for instance, clipboard font, alignment, these are the same as in Word. Over here, you have some issues with numbers. Okay, these are exactly the same. I'm going to show you how this all works. So, now I can go back up here. All right. So, for instance, if you put a number in here, right, you can do all kinds of different things with it. So, usually it's general, okay? But you can make it a number with a decimal point and 2 decimal places. Currency and accounting are pretty much the same thing, okay, when you have a dollar sign, okay? You can change it to dates. You can change it to the short date, the long date, which includes the day of the week. So in 3150, August 30th will be Wednesday. Time, percentage, fraction, scientific, text. There's all kinds of different things. I'm going to leave it on general. I just want it to be a number, okay? Excuse me. I can add any kind of format. So dollar signs, pounds, euros, yen, francs, any kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to leave it on dollars because I'm not going to use anything. We can make percents out of it. We can add commas to it. Oh, look what happens. What does that mean? Oops, darn it. Those are not hashtags. I mean, they are. Hold on. Those are, yes, they're hashtags. They're number signs. When you have this, when you put a number in a cell and you get these pound signs, all it means is that the column is too narrow for those numbers. So if I come up here, see how this, so it's like a plus sign right here, but it changes to a like crosshairs. If I make this a little bit wider, then the numbers go away. If you make it too short, then you get those hashtags. Okay. All right. Where was I? Okay, commas. All right. Then if I have more decimal places, oh, I don't want it to 4 decimal places. I want it to 2 or even none. You can just use these arrows. This is very similar to the paragraph indent in Word. Okay. Then you will use these throughout the chapters and throughout the use of these. I use Excel, like I said, all the time. I use these things all the time. So conditional formatting will help you with some different kinds of things. You do not use this, if I remember correctly, in these chapters. You will probably use table format as a table, and you will definitely use cell styles. This gives you the different colors and the gradient accent shades. You will use that. You can insert cells, sheet rows, or columns. You can delete cells, sheet rows, and columns. No, I do not have a virus on this computer. Okay. Insert, delete, and format. You will. This is a good way to do this. You can change the row height and the column width. So if I come over here and I change this from 15 to 25, it makes it higher. If I use the same thing and come over here to width and change that to 25, it makes it wider. Okay. You can use that. That's another way. You can use this to organize your sheets. This will be more chapter 3. Tab color, we'll come to that when we get to it because I don't have that ready You can protect the sheet, you can lock it, and format cells. I use this all the time. So you can use these same things. This is a recap. General, number, currency, accounting. Does that sound familiar from up here? Yeah. So you can pick those. Okay. I'm going to go through these real quick. Insert is very similar to the insert in Word. You want to put something in, therefore you're going to insert it. So this is mostly charts and graphs and things like that. That will be, I believe, chapter 3. So you don't need to worry about that right now. Page layout is very similar to Word. You have these texts and themes and things like that. Margins, orientation, the same as Word. Page breaks, that kind of thing, same as Word. Here's another way to change the width and height. Exactly the same. Grid lines and headings, view. I don't think you need that. All right, formulas. I believe this is chapter 2. Not sure. You don't need it right now, I don't believe. Data. That's later on. Review is very similar. Spelling, thesaurus, check accessibility. View is the same way as seeing. So it's the same as in Word. If you want to show something or see something, click on view. If you need to show the ruler, it's right here. Mine is already checked. This is how you change the view to see things a different way. You can also freeze and unfreeze panes. If you have a very large worksheet and you need to scroll through, but you need to keep either your top or your side headings, you can freeze the panes that way. Okay, so now how does this work? That's what all this is going on. I'm going to narrow this a little bit. Okay, so I have these numbers right here. What if I want to add them? Okay, so these are all my numbers, and I want the total of this column of numbers to be right here. I'm going to go to my Home tab and click on Auto Sum. So Auto Sum has several different ways. The Auto Sum will sum the column, okay? You will use average, max, and minimum in, I believe, I know it's chapters 2 or 3, but we'll get back to that later on. So right now, all I want to do, let me do this. I want these totaled. So all I have to do is click on that. And so what it does is it gives me this to say, do you want to equal these cells, E4, remember we talked about addresses, E4 through and including E10. So yes, if I wanted to change that, I could, but I want that. So all I have to do is hit enter. So as long as that formula is correct, I'm all good. Let me do this. I'm going to insert a couple of rows here. A couple of columns. All right. Just for the sake of, so watch this. This is called the fill handle. When you see how this is this little box in the corner, and it copies those over. You can do that with formulas too. So if these numbers were different, okay, I can change this fill handle, get this fill handle, and grab this across, and it will add, because the formula is the same. But see right here, it says sum E4 to E10. When I dragged this across, F4 to F10. And if I drag this across this way, G4 to G10. So you can do that, and you can do it across, and you can do it down. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so now over here, like I said, I had started this. So now you can set, so the things you're going to do, save as, add file name field to footer. I know how to do that. Merge and center, that's what this was right here. So you can collect any kind of cells and click on merge and center, and it works horizontally and it works vertically. So you can do columns and you can do rows. And then there's all kinds of formatting you can do here. You can do all borders. You can do all borders and put boxes around it and that kind of thing. So that's what merge and center is. So you just highlight the cells that you want, click on merge and center, and then whenever you type, it comes right in that box. I showed you about column width. Okay, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, so here, if I want to multiply these two numbers, I put my formula over here and I use an asterisk. So I'm multiplying 8 times 4. So I put K6, which is this one, times L6, and I want it to be an M6. Okay. If I wanted to subtract these numbers, I'm going to say K, where am I? 7, minus L7, and close the parentheses, and it does the math for me. If I wanted to add them, K8, put it in parentheses. We get into math properties. What am I doing? Adding plus L8. Whoops. And it adds them. But if I wanted to make this like a multiplication table, I could grab this, grab my fill handle, copy it down, and it automatically does the math. So there are mathematical properties, but we help you through them. So that will get you through. And then once you have one correct, you just copy it down. All right. Subtract, multiply, autofill formulas. We just did that. I showed you the cell styles, percent style formula. Great. Okay, redeem sheet. Okay, so these are all in these videos. So make sure you watch all of those. Let's go look at. So here are the instructions, and then I have the. Here it is. So this is what your starter file looks like. You're going to have to click on Enable Editing. All right. So that's what it looks like. So you do your. Whoops. I don't need editing for. Come on. It's being ornery this morning. There we go. Okay. I'm not going to do file name field because you know how to do that. Okay. Select A1 to H1. All right. So let's go up here. A1 to H1, right here. A1 to H1 and click on Merge and Center. Then select A2, so you just have to be careful, to H2, right? And apply this heading 3 cell styles. So you're going to go up here to cell styles and heading 3. Okay. So you're just going to make your changes to this document the same as always. And I don't have the other one open. I thought I did. Let me show you what it's going to look like when you're done. And this is it. It's going to look like this. So you're going to have addition and subtraction, multiplication and division. Yours should look exactly like this. Okay? All right. So that's all you have to do. So you have plenty of time to do this. So here's my suggestion. If you're not comfortable, if you're apprehensive about this, if you're not sure, if you think you need more practice, watch the videos. Watch the videos all the way through. Download the starter file right here. Download the starter file, which I just showed you. Oops, I just did it. Download the starter file that I just showed you. And then try to do it once. Submit it once and see how you did. Once you have the starter file, you can do this multiple times. The only thing that counts is how many times you submit it here, right? So you can submit it 3 times through these. But you can use that starter file and those instructions multiple times on your own. So keep doing it and then compare it to the final before you submit it. And then see, there's some things about checking spelling and things like that. So try that. But you can submit it 3 times for a grade. But my suggestion is submit it once and see how you did. And then try it on your own and then compare it to the final before you submit it again. Okay? All right, back to the module. The other thing is attendance. All right, make sure you post to the attendance journal. All right, so daylight saving time ends on Saturday night into Sunday morning, 2 o'clock Sunday morning, on November 3rd. So we have to fall back 1 hour, which means we get an extra hour. All right, I've actually been awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've seen my computer and cell phone go from 3 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of freaky. And so, but that gives us an extra hour. So it'll be dark. It'll be darker earlier. It's going to be colder. Well, I like cold, so I have not a problem. Okay, so make sure on Saturday, what I do at my house is when I get up on Saturday morning ish, I set the like my clock, my alarm clock, and the microwave and the clock in the living room. I go ahead and set those back already. I can't change the digital ones, but I change the other clocks back so that I already enjoy that hour for as long as possible. And then it makes Sunday a little bit easier. I don't have a problem with this. I really don't like the spring one. Okay, so the attendance journal. Tell me something that you learned this week, and or do you prefer daylight saving time or standard time? Why? Halloween, yes or no? Okay. If you're going to dress in a costume this year, what? Okay. Any one of those will tell me that you came to class. So any or all of those, make sure you post to that. I really enjoy hearing what you have to post. I think they're fun, and it just tells me that you're here and you're kind of getting into this class. So have a fabulous week. Let me know through messages if there's anything I can do for you. Remember, I do still have office hours on Monday and Tuesday nights from 8:30 to 9, so I'd like to see you there. Send me a message, and if you need any assistance. And thank you for everything that you're doing in the class. Have a great week. Happy Halloween. Happy Daylight Savings Time. I'll talk to you next time.